3, 2, 1. You're now tuned in to USSFCU Spotlight. Today is a special edition of the podcast. We're celebrating 90 years of service with all of our hosts, Tim, April, and Eddie. Let's celebrate.
Hello, welcome back to a special edition of the Spotlight podcast. Today we have the entire crew with us. I'm Tim Anderson.
I'm April Christian.
And I am Eddie Villanueva.
Today, we are shining a light on the credit union because
It's our
90th anniversary.
So it's a special podcast because talking about the history of the organization, the credit union was launched back in 1935. This year we're celebrating 90 years. It began back when 9 United States Senate employees, including one senator, pooled together $45 to start the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, $5 apiece. And to this day, to open up a membership 90 years later, it's $5. So we remember our beginning, and we want to make sure that we continue with that same approach. Beginning with the $5 deposit, you get tons of benefits. And just being a part of the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, we're just proud of this 90th year anniversary. Our charter date was October 8th. We started at the Russell Building, right down in the Russell Building at the United States Senate campus. And today we're in the Hart location, but we started with the Senate employees, the architect of the Capitol, and the Supreme Court. Again, we couldn't be more proud of our heritage and our start.
since officially adopting the name United States Senate Federal Credit Union in 1990, we have achieved remarkable growth. From a few significant mergers that allowed us to make our first headquarters move from the Hart Senate building to our previous building in Alexandria, Virginia, to steadfast support for our members during challenging economic times, we have been continuously building on our legacy of resilience and innovation.
Some facts about us now, fast forward to 2025. Now we're over $1 billion in assets. Digital transformation and member experiences such as my USSFCU Online and mobile banking lounge, retirement central for those that are looking for retirement, opening a new branch and headquarters as well. Awards, recognitions, and community impact such as Best of Bauer Credit Union, shareable donations, and top workplaces awards 2 years in a row.
Through all the milestones and achievements, let's not forget that we are also big on nurturing our culture as a team. Being a part of this USSFCU team is like being with family. We embody the people helping people mindset, whether it is internally looking after each other or supporting each other, or externally caring for our members through their financial life cycle. We say we are better together, and we really are, and the energy here is infectious. What do you all think?
That's a very good question. And as I sit here and I think about the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, the times that we have here, I enjoy our culture. I enjoy our people. I enjoy what we do for our members. I often say that I believe leadership is easy. If you take care of your people, they take care of your members, and it's just an awesome opportunity for us to continue to give back. So I enjoy everything that we do to build our people and serve our members.
To Tim's point, it's beautiful to work here because of the diversity that we have, the culture that we have built, And it starts with leadership, Our leadership leads by example, and we love that they take care of their employees. But not only, I'm not a number, I'm not somebody that's just out there, but no, they know me by my name and they care about me. So I love the diversity that we have, and working together as a team. All the departments come as one team, and we become this beautiful organization that is the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, which we're helping our members reach their financial goals and dreams.
While we have shared our own stories, beyond the milestones, our relevance is proven not only by years, but by the impact of our mission. For a glimpse into what we look like in action, take a look at this.
Hello, my name is Takesha Thompson, and I am the Regional Branch Experience Manager here at United States Senate Federal Credit Union. Shaping the environment for our members means creating the atmosphere where they feel welcome, supported, and valued. It means setting the tone, creating comfort, delivering consistently, and encouraging them to engage. When the environment is shaped positively, members respond with appreciation, loyalty, and trust. They bring their members. Some of the most common themes that I have heard about our members with staying with the credit union is surrounding service. Members enjoy that they're able to come into our locations and really receive personal service. They enjoy being known by their names, and with our reps actually knowing their stories, knowing their family members, and just all around just providing excellent member service. One of my most memorable moments here at the credit union is when I assisted a long-term member with a bill consolidation loan. She had called me very, very stressed out regarding her finances and was really looking for a way to consolidate everything into one payment for her to make it easier for her. I was able to assist her with telling her all of the benefits that will come out of her just consolidating everything into a bill consolidation loan. She made that adjustment, and now she's very, very pleased with how it's just a smooth process surrounding her paying that one bill. She came into the branch. This is usually a member that I would just deal with periodically over the phone, but she actually came into the branch to thank me in person and even brought me a small gift and gave me a hug. So that made me feel like she really appreciated that moment.
It is so wonderful to hear that our members really enjoy our service, the credit union, and what we provide as an organization. We really strive to make sure that we have embodied the people, helping people mentality, and it's a joy to serve our members.
You know, and Takesha's testimony touches home because, if you remember, when I got hired, I was hired for one of the branches, the Eisenhower branch. I still remember, my first day here on October 6, 2014. And the beautiful memories come from helping our members reaching their goals. As I mentioned earlier, reaching their financial goals and dreams. That's something that I, hold close dearly to my heart, especially working in the home equity department. I remember closing those loans for people that needed perhaps new constructions in their homes, building that maybe pool so family can spend their summers together. It's just so beautiful to see how refreshing it is that even though it has been almost 11 years now, the same type of service is being provided to our members, and we're still accomplishing those goals for them.
Mm-hmm.
But don't take our word for it. Here is what our members have to say. Christine K. I have been a member of USSFCU since 1982. It has served me well in my over 40 years as a member. I just recently took out a used car loan from USSFCU, and everyone I work with was so helpful and went the extra mile in making sure I received my loan payment quickly so I could purchase my car. If I may point out two people that helped me most, Jamie Painter and Rico Mason. I love my car. It also is so easy to see my loan on the dashboard of my account, and having automatic payments taken out is one less thing for me to have to remember. Jerome B. I have been a customer for almost 21 years. The GAO staff has always been friendly and helpful.
All right, more messages from our members. I have John S. And they're telling us, you guys are pretty good. I've been a member for 50 years. Wow. Thank you for your membership, John S. And Angelica K. is telling us, real people in person and over the phone. Timely service. Quick response. I have had 9 family members and a company join U.S. Senate Federal Credit Union. Thank you for those referrals, everybody.
And that's the thing as CEO that I enjoy the most, just hearing from my members and hearing those stories. And our members and our employees, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, taking care of our employees and taking care of our members. I think if you get that right, from my perspective, leading is easy. Daniel W. said this, one of our members. I have been a member since 1999. I love the personable treatment that you get as a member, particularly if I am able to go into the Hart branch. Shout out to our flagship branch down there at the Hart Senate building. George C. said this, I have been a member for over 20 years, and you are always attentive to my security and my privacy and more. I appreciate everything you do. And again, that is just so, it's all about our members, and that's just so personable to me as a leader. And throughout our organization, we lay our hats on our membership. So, and the other thing with being here at the credit union, and I was just reflecting as we're all talking, just about my journey. And I started with this credit union back in 2000, over 25 years ago. And I started as a branch manager at our Hart branch, the flagship branch that I just mentioned. And I was coming from banking, and I had a friend working in credit union world, and I love financial services. And his friend said, "Oh, gee, Tim, there's something over on the credit union side about people helping people." And over on the banking side, we always thought, and bankers still today, that credit unions are like this little train that can't. It's like, credit unions. But just think about this. We have, maybe somewhere around approximately 340 million people in this country. 145 million belong to credit unions. Wow. That's a big number. So I moved over to the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, my first credit union, and I was managing the Hart branch. I loved my journey here, but then I went on to another credit union as COO after actually just a year. And it's like I was here longer than a year, but it was just after a year. And then I got a call from a couple of our board members here at the United States Senate Federal Credit Union saying, "Hey, Tim, why don't you run for the board?" Now that was interesting. Run for the board. I'm working for another credit union. Only in credit union world can you do that. Management interlock rules would prevent you from working for one bank and doing anything with another bank. But in credit union world, we are exempt from management interlock rules. So I gave it a thought, talked to my wife about it, and I said, run for the board, volunteer position. And I did, because I love this credit union so much. Although I was working for another credit union, I still wanted to be united with the United States Senate Federal Credit Union. So in 2003, I was surprised. I put my name on the ballot. A couple board members encouraged me to do that, and I won. I was surprised. I won. And so in 2003, I was elected to the board here at the United States Senate Federal Credit Union while working at another credit union and then eventually running another credit union as CEO. And I did that for 16 years. That was a long time. And then in 2019, my predecessor reached out to me. I was running another credit union and said, "Hey, Tim, how about I'm looking for a chief retail officer. I'm looking for an executive vice president, chief retail officer. I know your love for the credit union. How about you come back to the credit union?" And I said, "Wow, well, let me give it some thought." I couldn't wait to get home to my wife and say, "By the way, I'm going back to the United States Senate Federal Credit Union." It only took me that one day to think about it. And so I called him up and I said, absolutely. So I came back to this credit union in January of 2019 as chief retail officer, executive vice president, chief retail officer, also with the thought of a succession plan. And in July of 2019, my predecessor left, went back to the West Coast, and I became CEO. So I enjoy this credit union. I've always loved this credit union. During my time that I spend with our new employees that come into the organization, my orientation part, I always tell them that story. And I tell them that I champion this credit union. And I know if I were them, I would say, of course you do. You're the CEO. But I champion this credit union because I've seen us in different capacities. Working as manager at the Hart branch, coming back as a volunteer, and coming back as a chief retail officer, and now CEO. And it's our people who make this organization. And so that's a little bit about my journey. I champion the credit union. I love the credit union and love all 100. And tell me again, April.
59.
All 159 of our employees. This year we have budgeted 171, and April and her team, I know they're working on filling those spots, but I just absolutely wouldn't be anywhere else but here at this credit union.
Wow, talk about a full circle, That's such an inspirational story. And speaking of the board, we have some special guests coming up in this next clip.
Hey, I'm Jay Moore. I am chairman of the board of directors at the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, and I've been chairman for 4 years now.
I'm Penny Gross. I am the recording secretary to the board of directors, and I've been doing this for 40 years.
Tony Sgami. I joined the credit union in 1966. I was a 14-year-old Senate page at that time. And I joined the board in 1984, about the same time Penny came on. So I've been on the board for about 41 years. My favorite thing is watching the growth of this organization. When I became a member of the board in 1984, we celebrated, had a big celebration because we reached 50 million in assets. We are now close to $2 billion in assets. So just watching the way we've grown and move forward and offer so many additional services to our members has been quite a pleasure to witness, and gives me great enjoyment being on board.
And playing off of that, Tony, I remember a few years later, probably in the late 80s, when Bill Ridgely, who was the treasurer of the credit union at the time and also the dispersing office director, said, if we play our cards right, we'll be a $77 million credit union by the end of the year. But my favorite thing about the board, in addition to watching the growth and the maturity of this credit union, has actually been observing board dynamics. Depending on who's on the board, and I've seen a lot of board members over the last 40 years, the personalities, how they play with one another and against one another. It's really remarkable when you really take into account board dynamics and how that may affect the direction of the board.
Maybe I'll be happy to hear where I fit into that equation.
I guess my favorite thing about being on the board is that it gives me a sense of purpose. I joined the board in 2019 when I retired from the United States Senate Sergeant at Arms. And I was looking for an organization to volunteer in. And being a member of the Senate Federal Credit Union, I thought this was a worthwhile organization. I enjoyed it. And I've enjoyed being on the board ever since I've been a director.
When I first became the recording secretary to the board, my wonderful friend Bertie Bowman had asked me to be the secretary. He was the chairman of the board at the time. And I remember thinking, boy, this is something different than I've ever done before, because I worked on the Hill. I was used to politics. I wasn't used to the financial side. And over the last 40 years, learning the financial side has been remarkable for me, especially as I grew in my career. But I think that's the thing that really surprised me the most and intrigued me the most, is how do you deal in those days in the millions of dollars. Now it's in the billions of dollars.
And I'll add in something that Penny said about when she joined the board. The financial was new to her. It was new to me also. I'm an information technology guy. So the financials were brand new. It was something that I had to learn, that I wanted to learn. And so to me, that's been very fulfilling. And working with the staff and the management here at the credit union really has been a growth experience for me.
Yeah, I got to think back when I became a member of the board in 1984. I was impressed with the level of board members. I mean, Morty Hoffman, who was the sergeant at arms at the time, asked me to join the board, and they had a legal issue. They did not have an attorney on the board, so I solved that, and then he brought me on the board. But the level of I think right before I came in, Stan Kimmett, who was Secretary of the Senate, was on the board. His daughter serves on the board today, Judy, and Louis Caraway, who we named the original building after. I was just so impressed with the commitment by these guys who were at the top of the food chain in the Senate, and here they were doing this volunteer work to make this organization great, and that was very impressive.
And it's always been a diverse board. We serve a diverse range of members, and the board has always reflected that.
Yeah. To this day.
To this day.
Yeah.
It's been really remarkable.
Yeah.
And the various levels of understanding and what they bring. It's not just what you take away from the board, it's what you bring to the board. Our consistency. I think that's one of the things that really makes an organization. People need to know what they can get and and have confidence that that's going to be the way it's going to be. It's not going to be this one day and that another day. It's that sort of seamless service that you know that you're going to be able to walk out of the credit union or now get offline and say, I got what I wanted. I think that's a huge part of what the credit union means to people.
And it's probably the commitment of everybody, board members, committee members, credit union staff, and members in general, their commitment to making this organization strong and making it well-run. And I think that's a big part of it. We've always had people that were very committed to the credit union. So.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Basically, the staff here, the senior management, the board of directors, all the volunteers do have a single mission, and it's member service, and everybody's pulling in the same direction towards providing service to our members. So that's what I think the strength is.
And our members show their appreciation because we constantly grow. We get more and more members every year, and we get more and more assets every year. So that shows us that we're doing something good.
But there's another piece that I want to make sure we don't forget, and that is that the Senate Credit Union has served a variety of people. U.S. senators, absolutely, they are part of the membership mix, but so are the folks who work in the architecture of the Capitol, the folks who work in the cafeteria. Going back to, one of our great mentors, my mentor, Bertie Bowman, he made sure that we were serving everybody, whether they were at the bottom of the economic spectrum or at the top. And we still do.
We need to build an after.
Yes, indeed. When you think about 90 years, it's almost a century. The credit union was founded by a small group of people in 1935. Think of the time, the political time, the economic times of 1935, and that's when the credit union movement really started. But for 90 years, the Senate Credit Union has been serving its members through thick and through thin, through world wars, through periods of great anticipation and through periods of great decline, and they've always come out sort of the other side. And I think that one of the great things about 90 years of being serving members is that we keep our members. Our core members are still our core members. That's because we have good service, good rates, good reputation. Anyone?
To me, I think security and stability. Any organization that has survived that long and is still flourishing has to be based on both security and stability, and the United States Senate Federal Credit Union has both of those.
Between the three of us, 40 and 40, we make up 90 years of service between the three of us, so that's kind of interesting. But it's been just great to watch this organization grow over the years and how well it's done for its members. Just knowing that we provide a great financial service to our members, and I think the members have shown that appreciation over the years.
It's the everyday aggravations of life get answered here by the credit union. Whether you need a mortgage, you're looking for a home, you're looking for a car. I remember one time getting a brand new car, losing it in a flood a month later, and the credit union, the insurance company, and the credit union together just took care of everything. Got a new car with hardly a ripple, and that was, I could trust that, and it wasn't just because I was, on the recording secretary to the board. If you needed help, our members know that they could come here for help, and that they were going to be treated with respect and have logical conclusions to whatever the challenge that they were seeking help for.
As both Penny and Tony said, we've provided those financial services to our members for 90 years, but we also promote financial literacy. There are a lot of opportunities at the credit union for webinars, online things, to learn financial literacy. And then we also give to the charitable organizations, local organizations, and give back to the community in that way. So in addition to serving our members, we're serving the community.
And making that difference in our members' lives really brings home what makes this credit union special. Not just our history, but the vision driving our next chapter.
The past 90 years is just the start. As we are celebrating this accomplishment, we are also excited to announce that we have also launched the USSFCU Foundation, centered on enhancing financial inclusion, wellness, and literacy by promoting education and empowerment.
Continuing to reinforce our culture of having our members and community at the center of it all. Thank you for celebrating with us and taking a little trip down memory lane.
Happy 90th anniversary!
Your voice matters. Share topic suggestions or questions for future episodes via email at communications@ussfcu.org with the subject line, podcast question or podcast topic. If you are looking to deepen your financial literacy, check out our free weekly Wednesday webinars. Secure your spot now on our website, ussfcu.org/webinars. Thank you for shining with us. Subscribe and stay tuned for our next episode.